Bonjour, bonjour. Tobias, hey, I see Trish is online. This is so neat. Like, because we set to go live at 10:15, but then it's there so you guys can already comment. So one of my friends, Kelly, actually sent a message to Tobias. Um, and she's got some recommendations. We're not going to go through them today. I'm actually going to move them to this is not in the right area. Friday, because Friday, tomorrow's live is the last live. I wonder if I'm going to have to put a wire on that to keep it up. Um, Tomorrow is the last live of the series. Let me just fix this because it's on like a little bit of a slant. So we're doing core and mobility on Friday. So we're going to throw those recommendations in that day. I have so many bright lights that I am trying to look through. Absolutely. Yeah. So we're going to use Kelly's recommendations and we're going to throw them in to tomorrow's final program. I want you guys to see the coffee. I don't know if you can see it. That's the coffee. Do you see how murky that coffee is? That has nothing else in it except coffee. Like the grinds are so grindy that like it's not classed as a super saturated solution, but it's a saturated solution of like beans. I don't know. I have no makeup on today. Stay further back. I'm not feeling it today. I'm not feeling the makeup today. I'm feeling the coffee in the legs. Yeah, I know. I think I've like reached a pinnacle when I'm going online. Well, okay. The makeup I wear, my full face of makeup. This is the makeup I wear when I go to special occasions and when I just do life every day. This is like a standard. A little bit of face powder, blush, and absolutely mascara. And I just forego everything today. I was like, no, I'm not doing it. Mm, but don't you guys not do it. Oh, it's thick, Steffi. It is thick. Trish has company today. Jose is here as well. Oh, wait, is that Beast? The coffee looks good. I know. Maybe we'll just start doing coffee shots. It's so strong. Again, it's an espresso bean, and I'm drinking this much of it. You wonder why I get headaches when I miss a coffee. I know. I listen. I don't do anything else anymore. Like legit. This is it. Okay? You are not taking I barely even do bubbly anymore. Like I know. You're not taking this away from me. Nope. Cold hard grip. Cold hard, cold dead hands. Say hi to Mike. Who's Mike? Hi, Mike. Mike, welcome. Are you going to do the legs program with us today? Because this is what we're doing. We're doing, because we dissected the legs, right? Today we're doing quads, calves, and then we're going to throw in our biceps because tomorrow is the last day of our 20-day program. And we're doing mobility and some supersonic core. So let me come up here because we want to start on time. Oh, it's only 10:12. Settle down. Go drink some more coffee. Okay. While you guys are here, right here. Oh, Mike subscribed. Oh, thank you, Mike. Mike, we do our own little setup here. And Cheryl keeps saying, you know what, Kate, do you want to just move? I'm going to go off the camera, but you can still hear me. Do you want to just move into one of the other rooms that has natural light? I'm just looking for something here. I know, Mike, this is the live, right? You get it. I was just looking for something to keep my light up because it keeps sinking down. And yes, of course, because, you know, of course I have wire, which I just exactly need right now. So I'm going to just, stay with me here. We work through these things together. You know why? It's because this one fluorescent, the lights, oh my God, this is so crafty. I am just a MacGyver. Oh my God. Here we go. Completely fixed. Way better. A little bit of wire does the trick. That wire has to stop moving. Okay, so we're going to be doing some squats today. I'm going to recommend that you start with body weight squats. Again, coffee in hand because it's hashtag real life. On the squats, we want to try and make sure that our heels are under our hips or shoulders. If you do have to go a bit wider, just because you're not able to get the range of motion if your feet are narrower, that's okay, but don't turn it into a sumo squat because those are completely different squats, and the sumo squat's coming later on in today's program. So again, toes are out from heels, knees are going to go over toes, knees are going to stay over toes as you stand back and through. We're going to do 4 rounds of those. You can add some weight as you go along. If squats aren't where you're at, you can pull up into some high knees as well. I just want to warm up your hip flexors, your hips, and your knees, and maybe even your ankles a little bit. We're going to move into some calf raises after that, some hammer curls. We got some curtsy lunges happening today, some bicep curls, some sumos, and a special finisher, which I'm not telling you right now. You have to stay for the 30 minutes to figure out what the last exercise is. Mike, we always go through bands as well. So when we're doing all of our leg moves, that when we do our leg movements for the squats, the bands are underneath, right? When we're doing leg movements for curtsy lunges and stuff like that, we're putting our band in the front foot and then coming down and grabbing the tension we need to get a little bit of resistance in those moves. So everything that we're doing today, whether it's a bicep curl, a hammer curl, a squat, or a lunge, those friends who are using bands are going to put either 1 or 2 feet onto those bands. We've been doing this a little differently where we just kind of show the setup for the bands, and then I hop in and I grab some resistance bands. So if everybody is ready to start, I know I'm asking Santa for a new camera for Christmas, one that actually stays in focus. One can hope. Santa's real. Don't even let them tell you he's not. We're going to start. It is 10:15. I'm going to start the timer. I debated when I was making these programs whether to throw a Tabata into this one. Let me see if I have the volume cranked all the way up, which I do. And then I said, you know what? Come back to me with a focus here. We're not doing Tabata. We're going to stay with our 45. So squats, chest up, knees out over toes. And again, I'm just going to go slow and steady. I know that my knees need a little bit of warm up, especially at 10:15 in the morning still. So didn't do any cardio before this, didn't go out for a walk, didn't get any sort of mobility in. So I personally am going to use at least the first 2 rounds as a warm up. So I'm going to focus on shooting my hips back. I'm going to focus on keeping my torso tall. And again, ass to the grass. I do swear, Mike, I hope you're okay with that. Right? It's the range of motion that as the years pass, as they will, as we are blessed to have them pass, sometimes we get out of normal ranges of motion, right? So put your dumbbells down if you don't want to work on, just load, and that you're like, you know what? I want to be able to get down a little bit lower to the ground. It's functional. Let's go a little bit lighter and let's just use our own body weight, right? So those are all different options. If you want to lift a little bit more load and you're comfortable with whatever range of motion that you're pulling right now, I know it's not having a good time with me. I'm moving so quickly in these squats. I'm really not, but right, if you want, dumbbells can go at the side if you're using the dumbbells. When I get into mine, I'm going to shoulder stack mine. Okay, and I'm going to do some light dumbbells on the next round. So again, I'm traveling a little bit slower because sometimes the camera does not like legs. There's a lot of stuff going on. I'm going to try and minimize the blur. So I want you guys to just go for it at home. 3 seconds. There we go. I'm going to grab some dumbbells. I'm going to go shoulder stack on these. I don't like necessarily holding them at my sides because I find that they bonk my legs. But I also know that some people have really uncomfortable dumbbells and they don't fit well on the shoulders. So maybe just holding them off to your sides works better for you as well. So let's talk about push points. You guys know, and if you don't, sometimes we forget, right? Because we're just trying to move on these exercises. We want you to focus on pushing through the outside portion of your running shoe. So keep the inside portion or the arches of the feet light. And as you come up and through, we want you to push through your heels. Again, squeezing your glutes and really making sure that those knees stay out over the toes. A lot of the time I find when I'm coaching, this is where the bobble happens when people push up. Then the knees kind of buckle in. Okay, we want to make sure that the knees stay out as you stand up and then squat back down. Okie dokes. So I grabbed some 8s on that one. So I'm going to stack those back up. Let's go for some 12s. Again, the legs are feeling a little bit sheared this week. I think just my recovery process is a little bit slower on this week 4, which is fine, right? We just kind of navigate our way how we're feeling on each day. So the chest is up nice and tall. You got her. So again, trying to sink down, but making sure that as you squat down, team, that you are not winking or tucking your tailbone. So you want to make sure that you're able to shoot your hips back, and whatever depth you can get, I want you to make sure that you're not curling around. If you start to curl, it is called winking. You need to terminate your depth. So I'm not sure if Noah is here with us today or not. Inhale to exhale. If he is doing this workout, hello, Noah and Kim. We're going to put those down for a second. So we're going on to calf raises now. So calf raises are going to be feet parallel distance apart, right? We're going to come up. When we come down, give me a hammer curl. 1 and 2. So you're going to alternate back and forth. So this one's kind of fun because we know that the hammer curls we can go a little bit heavier on. And we also know that the calf raises, sometimes we can go heavier on too. So let me try coming here. We're going to go up. When I'm stable, I'm going to do some hammer curls. So I'm going to come up to squeeze. We slayed calves last week. We did 3 different foot positions. I was sore all weekend long. Cheryl was sore further down towards the ankle, and my stiffness was up in towards the knee area. So obviously our ergonomics when we do those movements are completely different. We were both stiff, but in different portions of the calf. I want you to flex and then bring it up and through. So I have some 17.5s right now for my hammer curls. It's adding a little extra juice to the calf raises, but I feel that I want to try some 20s. Okay, so I just want you guys to be mindful whether you do have bands under your feet, right? Or if you're just doing the bicep curl, just make sure you're stable when you curl. Okay, so make sure that you come down into that position where your feet are right back on the floor, because I want you to make sure as well that when you do curl, I'm going to give you this angle, right? So I'm coming up, squeezing it, that you are bracing your belly and squeezing your butt. So you're sitting back into those heels, and just to counteract the sway of those dumbbells coming up and down, inhale to exhale. Again, we have 45 seconds. So there's lots of time to get a nice high rep schematic. If you are lifting a little bit heavier, your reps will be a little bit lower, and that's cool. You got her. So again, Carol, thanks for commenting on the C grip reminder. I saw your comment come in this morning. C grips on these again for me. So I'm going over with my thumbs versus under. I can feel my forearms are a little bit tired from the rest of the week. Round 3, shoulder width apart. We're going to come up, squeak out those calves, and then lock it back in. Inhale, and then exhale. So again, same cues on your hammer curls. I want you to pull your shoulder blades back into your spine. I want you to try and tuck your elbows into your waist. You can see my elbows are kind of splaying out from my waistline a little bit. Yeah. If my dumbbells were lighter, I'd have an easier time really keeping those elbows in. I have other muscle groups, back and shoulder, trying to help me do these curls right now. So you can see that they're jumping out a little bit. If you wanted to, you could go 1 and 2 and move it into an alternating curl as well. Again, I'm just going to put those down. It's right up in here. Those forearms are kind of jumping at me right now. So I'm going to shake this out a little bit. We have one more round, and then we have a trifecta coming at us, and it's going to be big, right? Bending at the knees. So again, parallel, squeeze it. Try and run your feet straight forward too, so that you're making sure that you're hitting both portions of that calf. We know that when we do different foot positions, heels in, toes in, it hits the inner or outer portion of that calf. So these parallel positions we're trying to get both to work at the same time. Again, like Tobias says, right? Sometimes it's the feet, it's the health of the feet, and it may have the feet splaying out, and you might hit a little bit more of an inside or outside head. So we just kind of want to focus on running them straight up. Curtsy lunges. We talked about these before, but we haven't actually put them in the program. So curtsy lunges, I'm going to start with my right foot forward. My left foot would go back in a regular lunge, but then I would cross it behind, kind of like I'm holding if I have to go pee, right? So I'm crossing my legs. Try and keep your front knee over your front ankle. We're going to bend and then come straight back up. Let's try this out. So that's your curtsy lunge. I want you to try and keep your hips front forward as well as your shoulders. Because if you just kind of rotate in the direction here, you're not getting that twist in the back. This is a little bit more of a glute-based exercise. Inhale to exhale, but definitely a lot of push through the quads on this one and a little variation for us so that we're not just still doing the standard lunges. Now, curtsy lunges do have us kind of torquing at some of our joints. That may not be where you're at today. So why don't you just kick it back into a regular lunge and join us in that position. Again, if your range of motion, if you feel like it's a little bit short, that's fine. That's fine. Do whatever range of motion, step out and through, that your body's able to do right now. So again, left foot forward, right foot back. Okay, so exercise number 2, I'm going to kick that right leg back, keep my hips front forward with my shoulders on the back toes. I'm going to pivot and then push. So I'm really trying to utilize my glute a little bit. But again, quads locked and loaded. I can feel my hip flexor in the back getting stretched out as well. Inhale to exhale. So I love doing these warm up. See how my knees are feeling? See how my hips are feeling with these rotations? We will be doing this 4 times, right? 4 times on each side, which is 8. But before we get right back into that right foot forward, left foot back, we're going to throw in some biceps just to mix it up a little bit. So after we do this one, I'm going to ask you to grab your bands or your dumbbells because we're going to move in to standing, alternating bicep curls. Okay. So I'm going to grab the 17.5s again. So again, feet shoulder width apart, right? Same thing name shows, chest up. You're going to lock your elbows into your waist. You're going to curl up and through, rotating your pinky into your shoulder, and then go to the other direction. Now, there's different ways to do the start position of a bicep curl. Some people like to start here and then curl up to twist. That's absolutely fine. I don't personally enjoy that one. I find it takes a lot of workload holding my arm here. I feel like there's a lot of pressure in my wrist holding that dumbbell up so my wrist isn't buckling back. And then you guys know me. I'm all about like feeling the movement of the exercise. So if I start with my palm facing my leg like I am right now, I can really lock onto that rotate twist to peak the bicep head versus just being here and then rotating with a little squeak. Okay. The palm face forward too, though, it's a little bit more challenging than the one that I choose to do. So you can probably end up getting a little bit heavier weights. Curtsy lunges, let's try some 15 pounds. Right foot forward, left foot back. Okay, different angle. Kick it back, chest up, and then push through. So this is a great angle because we really want to make sure, whoa, that Coach Kate doesn't fall over, that my front knee is staying behind my front toe. So this is a little bit more of a condensed lunge, right? It's not an easy lunge. It definitely feels different on the joints. If you do have weights, can you bring your shoulders up to your ears a little bit just so the weights aren't pulling your arms down to the floor? And again, let's talk about push points. Front heel riding up into front glute and hip. And then we're just going to change that up. So I have my right foot forward. I'm going to go left foot forward on this one. I'll give you the same dissection. So we're going to go this direction. I would just start in a regular lunge, right? You can stay here too if that works better for you. If you guys are ready to roll, I'm going to ask you to kick your right foot behind your left. Again, roll your shoulders up. We're going to focus on trying to get your right knee down to the floor. So let's take a big breath in. Let's drive it down and then bring it up. So again, the shoulders are facing forward. So your shoulders are facing the direction that your front toe is, right? Because your front toe is straight forward. Inhale to exhale. Again, Cheryl is still on her course today. This week is stripping our souls out. I can tell you that much. Inhale to exhale. Mike, you're going to have to come back when Cheryl is here. She will not be here tomorrow either. Unfortunately, she has another thing she has to do. So she missed the whole last 5 days. And I am going to tell you, it is so much more magical when Cheryl is here. Me having conversations with myself, all I freaking do is I just cue and coach. Like, okay, like I know it's great and it keeps us safe and all that stuff, but like there's no jokes about dehydrated fruit. All right, 20 pounds. Let's give this a go. Feet shoulder width apart, alternating bicep curls. So again, I'm pinching my shoulder blades back, trying to keep my elbow back behind as I curl. It will travel forward a little bit, obviously, when you do the finisher. So squeeze your scaps, chest is open, weights in heels. You're getting every angle here. When I used to ask my clients to give me pictures, those were all the angles they had to send, all four of them, right? So again, nice rotation. The alternating is making these 20 pounds feel a lot more manageable than they did when they were in a hammer curl at the same time. So I'm actually going to keep these guys. I'm going to do my curtsy lunges with the 20s for round 3. Then I might try some 25s. Okay. So right foot forward, left foot back, different angle as well. Let's get our balance here. We're going to kick that left leg behind and then bend and extend. I don't think the camera likes that angle. Let me change. I wouldn't want to upset the camera anymore. The camera's having a tough week. You got her. So yes, so Cheryl and I, we're just such a strange little couple, aren't we? So like we can only go so long without seeing each other, and then like our batteries start to drain. Have you ever been in relationships that's different? Like when you're with the person, they're actually draining your battery, right? And then like when you're not with them, you're like, "Oh God, thank God I got a break to recharge," right? Inhale to exhale to up. Left foot forward, right foot back. I think we've probably all been in those relationships at some point, and if you haven't, well, good for you. Like nailed it. Take a step back with your right foot, kick it back, left foot forward, and your toe is forward and your shoulders are facing the same direction as your front toe. So it has been quite a whirlwind because we have just been, I was up in Timmins and then she was on a course for a week and then she's working all weekend. And we know she fights the fires in the city of the Ottawas. Those are 24-hour shifts. Inhale to exhale to press up and through. So I think we're just hanging on by the skin of our teeth, hoping we can meet in the back and have a coffee at some point. Inhale to exhale. Because we've been talking too about this week and we're kind of a bit sluggish. Up and through. Okay, that was not too bad. I like that. That was not bad. I'm going to try some 25s with these curls. And then I think I might keep the 25s for the next round of curtsy lunges. Things are getting dangerous over there with me stacking them like that. Bend at the knees. If you're grabbing dumbbells, watch your back. Feet shoulder width apart. I can feel the merit on these, just holding them in my hand. So I know I'm going to have to really pull my chest out and open, right? To make sure my shoulders aren't rounding forward. And we're going to get up and through. So you can hear my heart rate's up now because of the extra load, especially coming off of those curtsy lunges. Inhale to exhale. You can see I'm trying to use a little bit of a dip and drive with my knee sometimes, where I would bend and then pop it up, kind of like in some of those Olympic moves we might do with a barbell, but I really want to keep this weight true here. So I just saw my body, right? My body is so helpful. It just really wants me to get these dumbbells up and through. You guys know I love working on arms. So if we are able to make these strength gains, I will encourage you to at least try. And then if things don't feel well, right? Like maybe your neck, your wrists, your grip is not there, put them down and go to the weight that you were working at before you tried to increase your lifts. I'm going to bend at the knees, pick these guys up, right foot forward, left foot back, hips are forward, and then just trying to get that depth with that back knee. So chest is up nice and tall. All right. So 50 extra pounds on this frame right now. I can definitely feel it in that front leg. I can feel that my heart rate's starting to jump up. I can also feel that I'm really having to work in my upper middle back to keep my chest up and make sure that the dumbbells are not doing this. Watch this. See how that pulls down? Eugh. Nope. I do not need that in my life. You do not need that in your life. Again, push point, front heel, and drive it up. You can feel how it starts to get hard to move out of that position. So again, I'm still rocking a C grip here, left foot forward, right foot back. My heart rate's skyrocketing now because I stopped. We're going to kick that right foot back. We're going to end this off and then do one more set of bicep curls. Shoulders front forward and driving up and through. So again, if you are with us, you are at day 19 of 20. You friggin' did it. You friggin' did it. Isn't it awesome? Inhale to exhale to push. You got her. So we finish it off tomorrow with some hardcore core. Hardcore core. Ooh, and then we're throwing in some mobility in between the core. So it won't be 30 minutes of just core. We're going to be throwing in some mobility and some gold nuggets to buy us for you, thanks to our friend Kelly Voss. Let me put those things down for a sec. I'm having an internal debate. Do I try 30s? Jose would say yes. I'm going to try. Because I won't know until I try. And if I fail or if I don't accomplish it, I'm cool with that. I so don't mind not accomplishing everything. Oh, so I'm lifting so slow and I am bracing my core right now. I want these 30-pound curls. It is week 4. And personally, I am looking for strength gains after week 1. Up and through. I know we take a couple weeks off the platform. All these videos are still up. But I know personally as well, I can only speak from personal, I lose strength. I lose strength, guys. You got her. Okay, moving into a sumo squat now. So the sumos are very wide. We want to make sure that we come down to our lowest point, that our knees are still over our ankles. Okay, chest is up. Got to get that right position. I'm going to ask you if you're able to elevate your right foot. And I just want you to keep it there. Okay, I want you to sink down and I just want you to do some small pulses. Okay, so again, your chest is up nice and tall. I can feel the tension in my hips and inner thigh because I'm asking you to come down into a position that is challenging and then try and drop it a little bit lower. So for those of you that want to amp this up, maybe a goblet hold with a dumbbell, you can shoulder stack because it puts it over the hips and glutes. I want you to focus on trying to draw your knees outward and then use your bum cheeks to pulse. Pulse. And again, if you're able to, try and keep that the invisible high heel, what we call it, right? My quads are starting to burn. Stand up and through. I'm going to go this direction because we want to be honest with how should your spine look during this move, right? We don't want to have any C-spine curves and we don't want to fold too far forward. So I've set myself up. I'm going to sink down, elevate, and then I'm going to start to pulse. Okay. So if you see from my head to my tailbone, right, there's a little curve in where the booty meets the low back, but that's normal. There's a muscle, but I'm not doing this. Okay. So I'm not rounding forward. I'm still able to keep my chest up and I'm not tipping so far forward. Inhale to exhale. A lot of clients have a trouble. Ooh, the quads are starting to burn now, Mikey. Thanks for bringing another victim, Trish Gibson. Moo ha ha, fingertips tapping. Ah, yes, when the pain comes, I actually get a little bit funnier. So yes, so we want to make sure that the torso can stay up as tall as you can. Holy cannoli. Some clients have a hard range of motion. When they bend, they forward fold. So we're really trying to work on keeping their bodies up. A lot of the time, if we elevate their heels, maybe on plates or dumbbells, it really assists on them being able, right foot up, to stay up nice and tall. So you might notice that maybe it's a little bit easier on the side that's elevated. You could see me kind of shifting over to one side. Inhale to exhale. I want that torso to stay right in the middle. And then just drop and push. Right? So I want you to focus on letting gravity take you down and then work to make those small pulses. Okay, so just some conditioning based stuff in here, but man, am I feeling that burn in my quads. Didn't feel this when we did those squats. Didn't feel this when we did those curtsy lunges, right? Time under tension with a little body weight. Don't forget too, right? The muscles are pre-exhausted because you might have done loads with your squats. You might have done loads with those 8 rounds of curtsy lunges. So now the body weight stuff is a nice little finisher. Feel free to put weights on if you want to. Knees out over toes, drop it, pop it, like in the club. So inhale to exhale. Again, I want you to just embrace the feeling of your muscles right now, okay? Uncomfortable? I would say so, right? Unsafe? I would say not, unless you're in a range of motion that you're feeling that you can't sustain without injury. Then I need to trust you to be able to come out of that range of motion and then come back. The leg on the elevated foot is vibrating. Drop it and elevate it. Pushing through the outside of our runner still, right? One is pushing through a toe, the other one pushing through a heel. Oh, Lord. Take a second, find a wall. Take a second, find a wall, because we're going to do some wall sits. So again, if you have the bands, band under feet, we're going to do palm up curls. If you are in the gym right now, guys, and you do have a straight bar, you can always grab a straight bar because that's the position we're putting our hands. I'm going to grab 10 pounds to start. I'm going to find a wall. Okay. Head and shoulders on the wall. Palms face the ceiling. So I want you to really focus on trying to keep your shoulders into the wall. So you have 3 points of contact, right? So your head is connected. Pull your head back. Your rear shoulders are connected. Pull your chest open. Your glutes are connected, right? And then your knees should hopefully be at a 90-degree angle. I want you to keep pushing your head into the wall. I know it might be challenging. If that does not feel like you're able to because your posture is so far rounded at this point, find a position that you're as tall as you can be. Pretend you're curling a bar that is straight across. If both are too much, I'm not sure where that came from. If both are too much, choose one. You could stay standing with upright curls, or you could just do your wall sit if that's something that you want to focus on. If you don't like having the dumbbells so far out, you can absolutely bring your knees into the center, bring your feet together, and then it's going to make you a little less open at the bottom. I want you to make sure that you're rolling your knuckles forward so your wrists aren't doing this. Plop. Okay, so roll them forward. That's going to work your forearms. And yes, I'm still using a C grip because after these dumbbell workouts, my grip strength starts to go, right? I'm working my forearms while I'm working all the muscles if I'm holding a dumbbell. 3, 2. Oh, don't have to be pretty, but you get yourself off the wall. Shake out the beef. I like the way it jiggles. 2 more rounds. Let's go. Walking your feet front forward, sinking your bum down, head, shoulders, butt, and then palms up and down. So you may be feeling a little bit fatigued right now, right? You may be at the point where you're like, let's go, Durst, I'm just getting started. Well, if you are at that point, there are 18 other videos that you can go and double up with. These are all half an hours. Some people that want a bigger workout, they put 2 together. I'm at a point right now, I'm going to go as hard as I can for 30. And then my 30 is my 30 up and through. But I know a lot of the viewers out there, I think Jose's done even more than that, right? just on those days you're catching up and through. So if you do have more gas in the tank when you are done this, just go back to Fall Into Fitness. They're all in the hopper. They're going to be staying there. The YouTube platform, it's got some learning curves for us, but it has a lot of bonuses for what we're trying to offer you guys. Sink it down low. Last one. So again, you want your hip crease in front of your knee bend. And that's, if you were looking on the side of me here, it would be a 90-degree. I want you to make sure that you're pushing through your heels and that it doesn't feel like your toes are going to ram through your running shoes. Okay? Bring the weight back into your heels. And I want you to make sure that your heels are under your knees. Put your head on the wall. Put both shoulders on the wall. Thank you. Push through your heels again, please. 10 seconds left. Let's go. Inhale to exhale. Palm up curls, quads, calves, and biceps have been served. Nice. Let's put those dumbbells down. Let's just go into a calf stretch to start out with. So I'm going to face you from behind, heel down, toe up, legs straight, hip into wall. And even a better cue is thigh into wall. Okay? Just getting a nice gentle stretch in that calf. Big deep breath, right? As soon as we stop those exercises, the heart rate goes up. Back it off. Just some gentles, little circles there, Steffi. Let's go other side. Okay, heel down, toe up, straight leg. Bring your hip, your thigh. I can feel that in my calves. Relax your shoulders. Just take a breath. Your work is done here. Yep, we're just going to stretch out. Now, you guys know we don't have enough time to properly stretch. So we like to go through some stretches and then encourage you to keep stretching afterwards. You can either use something that is high enough to put your foot on, or you can grab your foot, heel into bum, soft bend in the knee, and forward fold. So I want you to take that foot, drive it into your glute, and make sure that the leg that's on the floor isn't flexed out. It's softly bent forward. When you've had enough of that one, and you can stay in that stretch a little longer, I'm just going to flip over to the other side. Sometimes actually getting the hand and the foot to connect, that's hard, okay? So that's why we say you can either use a chair and then push your hip out, or use whatever you have, right? And just keep up with these stretches, because you're gonna open up. You're gonna get a little bit more supple and limber with these guys. Trust me. You got her. So just for some stretching here, I'm going to ask you to extend your arms straight. This is my right hand. Can you just push into your palm? And you're going to get a bit of a stretch in your forearm and possibly the bicep. Okay. Flip it over, push onto the big portion, not your fingers. And you can probably see my forearm muscles. They're getting a stretch. See when they relax? This is kind of cool. Oh, if Cheryl was here, it would be so much better. So this is my arm relaxed. And then once you, right? So you can see that we're getting into that area. Let's do the left hand. Straight arm, push into the palm. If you are double jointed, make sure you're not hyperextending at that elbow. Just keep it straight. When you've had enough, flip it over. Arm is straight. We're going to push in. Oh, great stretch up here. I love it. I love it. I love it. 9 more days and I can get that velour suit and kick my leg up and own that I am 50 and I like to kick and I like to stretch and I like to kick. That's all that I have for you today, team. Don't judge me by my SNL impersonations. Who needs makeup when you work out? Because you just get blushies anyways. I know. I'm just saying. Go have your protein shakes. Mike, if you have any questions about anything, talk to Trish. She's one of our coaches from up north, and she is jacked and juicy. She could do this program, so I always say thank you to everybody, because I know you could do it too on your own. You can make up these workouts. So I really appreciate that you allow me to be your coach and that you continue to show up daily to get your 30 minutes in for yourself. Have a great day. Send the bicep pics if you have time, and we'll see you tomorrow. See you guys.